Hello, friends. Welcome to my Cloak and Dagger Christmas TBR. I'm really digging this hat. As you might know, Cloak and Dagger Christmas is a month-long readathon that is focused on reading all mysteries in the month of December. It is hosted every year by Kate Howe, Kate from the novel Nomad, and Carolyn from Carolyn's Reading Ramblings. However, this year they have added a wonderful new fabulous co-host, Janelle from Too Fond of Books. If you haven't checked out Janelle's channel, you really need to for some mystery recommendations for this readathon because, my goodness, she is like the mystery queen. She has a different recommendations video for every prompt in this readathon. And this year, the prompts are extensive. So let's just get right into it. So this year, the readathon is Clue themed. If you have never played the game Clue or you've never seen the movie, which I recommend, by the way, very funny. It is a house themed, so every clue focuses on a different room of the house where the murder or the mystery may occur. So that means there are 9 rooms in this house, so 9 different prompts. The first prompt is the study, and this is to pick a book that centers around your profession or a subject you studied in school or a subject or a profession that you're just interested in reading about. Firstly, I couldn't really find anything that centered around my profession, which is just a secretary. Janelle actually gives a link to a website that talks about a lot of mystery series that are grouped by categories of job descriptions. And surprisingly, there were no secretaries. So I went with a subject or a field of study that I am heavily involved with, or at least I was before the pandemic hit, and that is the theater. So for this one, I went on the site that Janelle linked, and I found Untimely Death by Elizabeth Duncan. This is book 1 in the Shakespeare in the Catskills mystery series, and I am very much intrigued. This centers around a woman named Charlotte Fairfax, who is the former costume mistress for the Royal Shakespeare Company, and she somehow gets involved in this theater company in the Catskills, and somebody is murdered in the style of Romeo and Juliet by being poisoned and stabbed. That's quite a combo. The second prompt is the library, and this is to read a book about books or to borrow a book from your library. And if you know anything about me, you know that I make a lot of trips to the library. The librarians all know me, and they tease me quite frequently because I will reserve one book or 1 or 2 books, come in and get them, and then another one will come in, and I have to go in like 2 days later and get the next book. So they tease me that I'm just in there all the time, and I might as well have a job there, which, if I didn't have to go to my full-time job every day, totally would. That is all to say that most of these books will probably come from my library. The third prompt is the hall, and this is to pick a book that is a new to you author, genre, or sub-genre, anything basically that's new to you. So for that, I decided to go with Whose Body by Dorothy Sayers. I have never read a Dorothy Sayers before, and I have heard nothing but great things. Honestly, I have no idea what this is about other than it is the first in the Lord Peter Wimsey series, which is the series that Dorothy L. Sayers is best known for, I would say. So I am really excited to try out my first Dorothy Sayers. Prompt number 4 is the Billiards Room, and that is to pick a book that is the next numbered book in the series or a book that is that has a game or a sport involved. And for this one, I could basically choose any series that I'm in the middle of because I do love cozy mysteries. And I have been reading a few different series throughout my years on BookTube. I decided to go with The Mummy Case by Elizabeth Peters. And this is the third in the Amelia Peabody's series. And I have just loved this series. And I am sad that I am only on number 3. I have been listening to this series, and the narrator, whose name is escaping me right now, is just delightful. She brings out the humor in this series, and this series is basically a Victorian series, although I think it goes later than that because it's a very long-running series. But Amelia Peabody is an adventurer that generally goes to Egypt, and she and her husband now are basically archaeologists and detectives, basically. And she is just so snarky and spunky and independent, even though she, goes everywhere with her husband. She's very independent. She kind of bowls him over on occasion. I just love her, and I'm excited to get to the next one in the series. The next prompt is Conservatory, and that is to pick a book that either has nature involved or travel or a warm climate. And this one might be a little bit of a stretch, but I decided to go with the cozy mystery Peonies and Poison by London Levitt. And this is the next in the series. It is number 7. And it actually takes place in the summertime. And it even says on the blurb that there is extreme summer heat in Port Danby that year. So definitely a warm climate. Is Port Danby always a warm climate? No. But it is a touristy town, so people travel there. So there you go, that works. It is a port town, so there is always a little bit of nature involved with the water and the beach, and they usually spend a great deal of time outside. And this one is set in the summer, and it's very hot. So I'm just excited to continue on with one of my favorite mystery series. The 6th prompt is Kitchen, and that is to pick a book that is either a cozy food themed or set in a small town. And for this one, I decided to go with Beyond a Reasonable Stout by Ellie Alexander. This is also the third in a series. It is the third in the Sloane Krause mystery series. I have been reading this with my friend Amanda from her Pacific Northwest Washington life. We have already read the first 2 in the series. There are only 4 out at the moment, so we just wanted to bust them out. It is a brewery-themed cozy mystery that is set in Leavenworth, Washington, which is a super cozy, small but touristy Bavarian-style town in Washington state. And I really need to go to there because it just sounds so charming. And the fact that it is a real place just makes me want to buy a plane ticket right now. But it is a very small town during the off season, and it is beer themed. So to me, that's food-ish themed. The 7th prompt is Dining Room, and that is to choose a closed circle mystery or something set in a hotel or a small group is involved, that kind of thing. So I decided to go with The Winter House Mysteries by Ben Gunterson. And I have been reading this middle grade mystery series for the last couple of Cloak and Dagger Christmases. So I think that the third one, the Winter House Mysteries, is the last in this little series, at least the last one that's out right now. So I thought, what better book for this prompt than one that is set in the Winter House Hotel? And there is always just a delightful cast of characters, but it is usually only guests within the hotel. So that definitely includes closed circle, mystery, small group, and hotel. Now for the eighth prompt, I actually have two options. And the eighth prompt is the lounge, and that is to read a book that is set in the golden age of mysteries, which would be the 1920s or the 1930s. The first one I picked for this is The Mitford Murders by Jessica Fellows. This one is just one that's been on my radar for a while now, since I have been hearing Kate Howe talk about it over the years. And yeah, it just sounds like the perfect golden age mystery series. I don't know much about it, honestly, as I'm sitting here, because I was going to summarize it for you, and I don't know. But it's definitely set in the golden age, so fits that prompt. And the second one is Murder on the Links by Agatha Christie. I had been wanting to read through all of the Hercule Poirot series by Agatha Christie, but so far I haven't gotten past book one. So Murder on the Links is the second in the series, and it wasn't until I heard Janelle recommend it that I was like, oh, of course, I forgot that I wanted to read more in Hercule Poirot, and what would a cozy mystery readathon be without a little Agatha Christie? So I put that one on the list too. We'll see which ones I get to. We'll see if I can get to them all. Who knows? The world is our oyster. And the last prompt is The Ballroom. And this is to just pick a book that has a party involved. And for this one, I decided to go with one that I actually have on my shelves that I really need to get to, and that is Ale of Two Cities by Sarah Fox. And the last prompt is Ballroom, and that is just to pick a book that has a party atmosphere involved. And for that one, I decided to go with Ale of Two Cities by Sarah Fox. This is the second in her literary pub mystery series. I believe that is, yes, the literary pub mystery series. I read Wine and Punishment by Sarah Fox last Cloak and Dagger, I believe, and I have been meaning to pick this one up ever since. It's been on my shelf for over a year now, and I just haven't gotten to it. So this is going to be one of the first books that I read for Cloak and Dagger. And it is set during a winter carnival, and it has Christmas elements to it. So what better cozy mystery to read during Cloak and Dagger Christmas than a Christmas-themed one? And it's set in a literary pub. Both of my favorite things all wrapped up into one book. Couldn't be more thrilled. So friends, that is my TBR for Cloak and Dagger Christmas 2020 edition. I am so thrilled that they are bringing back Cloak and Dagger Christmas again this year. It is one of my favorite readathons of the year, although I feel like I say that about a lot of readathons. I'm just such a joiner. But I am going to go get out of this trench coat and take off this hat, even though I kind of want to wear it for no particular reason whatsoever, and get to some more reading, because this is November when I'm filming this. I still have a lot of books left to read. So I will talk to you soon, friends. Bye.